Oh, that was an abrupt end to the music. Good morning, Hockey Nation fans and Detroit Red Wings fans. It has been a rough few weeks. And that did not stop on the weekend. Red Wings have a tough schedule, and we kind of knew this coming into this, that Ottawa is on an absolute tear lately. And Detroit's still banged up. You can see Dylan Larkin did not take a single face-off, even though he's back. So that's kind of rough. He played the wing all night, so that didn't have great results for the Red Wings. Good morning, Enerd Tap, my friend. I appreciate you jumping on. And John DJ, appreciate you jumping on. One day I'll have to learn how to pronounce your name properly if I'm doing that incorrectly. Good morning, Hockey Nation fans. And we have a busy week ahead, a busy night if you're a Detroit Red Wings fan. And Saturday night was a little bit rough. So this was a really close game up until the third period, and then it was not. Had number one goaltender Ville Husso in net, had Dylan Larkin back. Jacob Verana is practicing but did not play in this game. I'm wondering if he will start tonight. We will look and see if we can find any information on that. Good morning to Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, for joining. We appreciate you in the morning. If you are joining this or watching this, please hit the likes and subscribes if you have not. We always appreciate that. It helps get some more reach for the video. So we might as well get into it. Up until the end of the second, it was 3-3. 2 goals in the first for each team, 1 goal in the second. And the Red Wings typically have had success locking down the third. So you thought, oh, this is going to be fine, right? Absolutely not fine. Shots on goal, 28 for the Senators, 32 for the Red Wings. 1 for 7. At least they finally got a power play, but it took 1 of 7 chances to get a power play goal. The Senators were 3 for 5 on their power play, and that was the big difference in this. The Red Wings have a real problem scoring goals and a real problem on the power play. This was a little bit of a scrappy game. 18 hits for the Sens, 14 for the Red Wings, 17 block shots to 15. But the worst part of this game is the face-off circle. So your number one centerman, Dylan Larkin, we know he might have come back a little early. He went to the specialist. He got checked out for an upper body injury. I don't know if that's like a clavicle. Is it a shoulder? Unclear. What is clear is he is not healthy enough to play center because he did not play center. So we were looking at P.S. Suter, Andrew Kopp, the normally reliable Michael Rasmussen in center, and Joe Veleno got some reps in there, but maybe not enough. Well, when you're going up against the Ottawa Senators, could be the Habs. Yeah, the power play on both, like this is how teams live and die, right? Like if the power play ain't clicking, you're in trouble. Well, it wasn't clicking. It hasn't been clicking. So that's been rough. But the worst part is you're going up against an Ottawa Senator team that had, Claude Giroux is arguably one of the top 5 face-off men in the NHL. So now you're throwing out P.S. Suter, right? Michael Rasmussen probably you would think would have a shot, right? In the face-off circle. And Andrew Kopp, we know, is, as we've been reporting, terrible in the face-off circle. Is this something they knew coming in? If we looked at historically with this guy, he got a big contract. But he is like killing them in the face-off circle. He's chewing up face-off reps, and it ain't working out, and really didn't work out last night. 37%. So things got off to a good start. Joe Veleno getting his 4th of the year from Kubalik and Soderblom. Good to see Elmer Soderblom getting his first NHL assist. I think he's got 4 goals and 1 assist now. And it's good to see him back. Drake Batherson, 9th goal from DeBrincat, who would get 3 assists on the night. And Shane Pinto, who did very well in the faceoff circle. So whatever Claude Giroux is doing in practice or something's going on because Shane Pinto, I think, was 60% in the faceoff circle. Adam Ernie, who's been getting reps and being important, gets a goal here, 5 on the season. What you're not seeing for the Red Wings until you get down is, like, there's no big, there's no Lucas Raymond. There's no Larkin. Larkin's hurt. We know Verana's out. We know Bertuzzi's out. So a lot of the goals are out of the lineup, and it's showing up. It's rough. Kubalik getting more assists than goals lately. So at that point, it was actually 2-1. The Red Wings led. And then Thomas Chabot tied it up, and that is how the period would end. And that was fine. And then Drake Batherson scores again his 10th of the year from Tkachuk and DeBrincat. As I mentioned, DeBrincat getting 3 assists on the night. And then Philip Hronek. Philip Hronek has been Mr. Everything for this team. I don't think he started out the season amazing, but he's really taken it up a notch, and that's good news. He's a point a game almost. Like, he's one of the top 7 scoring defensemen in the end. I did not see Yzerman going after Chychrun. Or do I see him going after Chychrun? Well, that would make a lot of sense. I mean, I think they have the assets to do something. I think Arizona wants a bucket load, right? If you're Stevie Yzerman, though, do you give up a top draft pick? I don't think that's smart. I think he stays the course. It just depends on what you got to give up to get Jakob Chychrun. So I'm not sure who that package is, Like, they have a guy in Sweden right now, William Wallander, who is doing very, very well. This is a big, big man who can skate, and he's getting points in the Swedish Elite League. I think I saw he had 16 points in 21 games as a monster 6'4" defenseman. He might be 6'5" actually now. He's big. So you have a William Wallander in the wings. Do you give up a William Wallander to go after Chychrun? Knowing that Wallander might be another one of these guys that Yzerman grabbed that everybody didn't grab, and suddenly he's a top 4 defenseman in the NHL. So that's I don't know. What do you want if you're Arizona? Yeah, so I just don't see the Red Wings giving up 2 first-round draft picks. Now, it just depends, and we should look at this. Let's finish the score up. I mean, because going into the third, Lucas Raymond gets his 10th assist, Perron his 13th. You're not seeing goals from Perron. You're not seeing goals from Raymond. You're seeing it from Philip Hronek. Okay, well, in the third, Claude Giroux scores on the power play, unassisted. That was a weird one. And then they score shorthanded from Tyler Mott. And then they score again shorthanded, Tyler Mott. What the heck is going on, guys? You have 7 power plays. You give up 2 goals and you score 1? Like, this is rough. And they let, the special teams for this whole game. Like, 3 power play goals and 2 shorthanded goals. This was a complete collapse by the Red Wings. Not good. So there's obviously more wrong with this team than just the defense. Like, if you look at the personnel, you're happy with how the season Ali Mata's had. You're very happy with Philip Hronek. Moritz Seider's probably, taking a little step back, but it's not like he's terrible. You want to see the Moritz Seider of last year. And that's going to come with a little bit of time, I think. Ben Sherratt, I don't know. Has he been good? He's been kind of mixed. Maybe he's playing too high up in the lineup. Maybe you need a Jeff Chychrun. Or Jacob Chychrun, his dad was Jeff. Do you turn things around with that? I am not sure. They need scoring. So Philip Zadina is a bust. You got Jacob Verana. Maybe he comes back after his timeout. Does that help? And you got to get more balance in these lines. Like the young guys like Berggren, not clicking at the moment. Lucas Raymond getting assists, but he's kind of playing a perimeter game. You've got, and that's what he's good at. Great, I get that, but we need scoring here. Sherratt needs to play in the third pairing. I think you are correct. I think that is very, very abundantly obvious. When he is currently on the top pairing, that has not been working out amazing. I think at some point you've got to come to that conclusion, Detroit. And maybe they knew that. And getting a Jacob Chychrun would really help, but I just don't think you're going to give up, that many draft picks. I mean, if you look at Detroit, what do they have coming up? Do they have a bunch of draft picks? Like, they're in a very good situation salary cap-wise. They only have a first this year, a first next year, a first year after. And then they have 2 second-round picks coming up. One from St. Louis. How do they have everything from They have all the St. Louis players, all the St. Louis picks. Isn't that kind of crazy? They've just ripped them off. Good morning, RJ. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. So this is just a story of a lineup that is a little imperfect. They have a lot more depth. They've been able to survive, but that's kind of runs course a little bit here. And you're seeing it in the standings. Now Florida, who has not been playing great, they got 1 lousy win and they skip ahead. So the Red Wings are 6-2-2 in their last 10, 13-11-6 on the season. Buffalo is charging hard. I mean, Buffalo, 124 goals for. They're the top offensive team in the league. Tage Thompson is just like a monster. Jeff Skinner playing very well with Tage Thompson. Dylan Cousins looking like a number one center in the NHL. He is a point-a-game player. Good morning to Vinny James 007. What did you think of the Ottawa Senators versus Detroit Red Wings? I thought the Red Wings did very, very poorly. 2 shorthanded goals against, 3 power play goals against. This was a disaster. So something's got to change. Or, maybe it doesn't. Maybe they just don't worry about it either tap. They keep their draft picks, which is probably the smart thing to do, and not worry about chasing a shiny object like Jeff Chychrun. Is Jeff Chychrun all we think he is? I think Jeff Chychrun should go to a contender, be the number 2 defenseman on a team with a really good number 1. Okay, well, we've got the big matchup tonight. Washington Capitals, Alex Ovechkin chasing Mr. Hockey. It just pains me to say that he's going to catch him and probably going to catch Gretzky at some point. Just don't see this slowing down. Now, he's had 5 goals in 5 games. So that's, interesting. Look at this. Sonny Milano getting yet another shot at life. Like, Sonny Milano, highly skilled player, just imperfect player. 5 assists his last 5 games. Ovechkin, 5 goals, 3 assists his last 5 games. John Carlson playing the way John Carlson can. I want to point out Jesse Wallman has played pretty well. He was a +2 last night. So, he's a tough customer. He's showing he's a decent D-man. But the points, 2 points in his last 5 games. Their leading scorer is David Perron. We mentioned last time we looked at this that the leading goal scorer was David Perron with 2 goals in 5 games, but that was going to drop off. Because, they're going to drop off the first 5. So that's gone. Now it's Philip Hronek, 1 goal in 5 games. This team is in trouble offensively. This is not a mirage. This player was always a big-time. Tage Thompson is a big-time scorer with USA Hockey. We saw him in the World Juniors. He was a big-time scorer. His problem was always health. And, I kept saying to Coach, like, man, they got this guy there, Tage Thompson. If you go back and look at our old videos, and I'd be like, Buffalo's got this guy that came over in the O'Reilly trade. Like, he just can't stay healthy. Did I think this was like a 1.5 a game? No. I thought, like, hey, this guy's a 25, 30 goal scorer in the NHL. He might be a 60 goal scorer in the NHL. Well, listen, realistically, I think it's going to happen. I mean, Detroit currently, I don't think, who are they going to go in net with? They just had Husso. Are they go back with Husso? Does Vrana make his debut tonight? I am unclear. One thing is for sure, the Red Wings are not able to score. Their power play is terrible. It's so bad that not only can they not score in the power play, the other team can. It's pretty bad. I guess it's appropriate. I think it's inappropriate. He should just wait. That's just, I don't know. Like, do you consider, I don't know. I guess so. I mean, let's hope it doesn't happen. I don't know. Something weird about that. So crazy. This is rough times for the Red Wings for sure. If you look at this schedule, it has not been a great month. They lose 4-1 at the beginning of the month to Vegas. They won 4-2 to Columbus. Was that their last win? No, they had a big win. They had a big win versus Tampa. And Tampa's been on an absolute tear. Oh, this is old. So I didn't update that. But if we look at the schedule, well, I'm going to actually, let's go over here and we're going to look at the schedule for the month because you can see it's been a rough month. So things started out okay. Big wins at the beginning of the month, but it's been rough ever since. Ooh, the heat is blasting in this room. I don't know what's going on. I am dying here. I don't know why it says Colorado Avalanche. That's because your thing is buggy. There we go. So you see 4-1 win over the Red Wings, Vegas, who's very, very good team. 4-2 win against Columbus, so that was fine. A big 4-2 win versus Tampa, that was great. And then they got smoked by Florida, beaten a tough game in Dallas, tough game in Carolina, smoked 4-1 by Minnesota, 6-3. So now we got Washington, the red hot Tampa, and back to Ottawa. And they got Ottawa again at the end of the month, and they got Buffalo. And Pittsburgh is not exactly easy. So this is a rough road here. They are not clicking, and they got a lot of crease. So, yeah, we got Columbus versus Dallas tonight, Florida versus Boston. But the game we're talking about, Detroit versus Washington, I got to think that Ovechkin gets the record against Detroit. Edmonton, Nashville. This is a busy night. It must be because it's Christmas week and the schedule is all mixed up. New York versus Colorado. Islanders doing okay. Buffalo versus Vegas. That's going to be an interesting game. How good is Buffalo versus a team like Vegas? Montreal and Arizona. It gives Montreal a chance to maybe get back in the win column. St. Louis versus Vancouver. Why not? Why not? I mean, maybe. That's fine. Hope everyone is well. I agree. Thank you, Austin, for joining. Training takes care of everything. They are better. They're definitely better, Austin, but it's a rough slog lately. I have Husso and Lindgren on fantasy. Ooh, geez. Lindgren's been playing great. Charlie Lindgren's been playing great. Washington's been playing great in front of him as a result. So that has all been positive for the Washington Capitals. What was I going to take a look at? Let's take a look for a second at the scoring leaders. So on paper, this is not bad. We're on at 25 points in 30 games, 7th goal the other night. They need some offense here. They need more than 7 goals from this guy, but he's still a young guy, and we got to count that. This is crazy. So we didn't look at this, actually. Let me go back because if we go back, this is one thing I wanted to point out in this game is the face-off percentages. So 27% for Rasmussen versus Ottawa, 43% for Pius Suter, 44% for Andrew Kopp, which is kind of his typical. And Joe Veleno was 50% in the face-off. We only play 11 minutes, and he scored early. Like, why not play this guy more? He's a big horse. He can skate. The Red Wings have a good blue line. I think they do have a good blue line. I just think Sherrod is showing he is not a top 4 defenseman. He's a number 5. And so if you put him down at number 5 and you get someone like a Jacob Chikrin, it would definitely help them, but not at the expense of 2 first-round draft picks and a prospect. You've got William Wallander coming. You've got some young D-men that are coming up. Call up, I don't know, how's McIsaac doing? Jared McIsaac's in the minors. Well, this is rough. This is rough. Philip, Moritz Seider minus 15 versus everybody else that seems not too bad. And you got the opposite over here, plus 12. So you can say what you want, but this is telling you a story. Only 10 points in 28 games. I'm kind of shocked. I really thought Rasmussen would be a lot better. A plus 10 for Olli Mata. So that is good. Minus 14 and minus 15. These guys have been paired at the hip, and I don't think it's any coincidence that they have almost identical plus-minus numbers. I just don't think this is a good match. There's something off there. Like everybody else is a plus. Robert Hagg, that has really not worked out. Lindstrom struggling. That surprises me. You've had more consistent play from Jordan Osterley. So could they use another top 4 defenseman? Absolutely. But it could come within if you're patient. And I don't see giving up 2 first-round draft picks, given how well the Red Wings have drafted. They are not there yet. I would ignore a Chikrin, and I would keep my picks. Sherrod is a third-pairing guy. Veleno is going to be a beast. Like, why not let this guy play in the third or the second line right now? You're not playing Larkin because it's a mess. Good morning, NHL Hockey News Reports. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it. Yeah, it's probably very late for him. Appreciate you joining in the morning. I've seen some of your videos as well. I have seen them. Thank you for sharing those. I liked how you analyzed the Ryan O'Reilly trade that brought Tage Thompson to Buffalo. That was a really good video. Keep it up. Appreciate you doing those. All right, so tonight we will see what happens. Just quickly going to comment on a few other games last night. Oh, actually, this I wanted to comment on. Shane Wright named. This kind of raised my eyebrows. Got to be honest. This kind of raised my eyebrows. Shane Wright named captain for Canada, the 2023 World Juniors. I'm a little shocked. So our coach, and I have not talked to him. I don't talk to him a lot during the year. Dennis Williams, also our GM, is the head coach for Team Canada. They have a stacked team. Absolutely stacked team in Canada. They brought Dylan Guenther, Shane Wright, and Brandt Clarke. Brandt Clarke's got about 7 NHL games in this year. He's got a couple of assists. Brandt Clarke looks really good. You already have Olen Zellweger. You already have Logan Stankoven. Del Mastro returns. You've got you've got Adam Fantilli. You got Connor Bedard. And they named Shane Wright the captain. I'm a little shocked. I'm kind of shocked. Not sure what to think of this. We'll find out one day. We'll have a private conversation and just understand, hey, what was the thinking behind there? Did he play? And, if you look at Ron Francis is commenting on it, which I think is weird. He's played well during his professional debut. I agree. I thought he looked good. He scored that goal against Montreal. He's very capable of playing wing in the NHL. Even if you don't feel comfortable with him at center, it's not like Seattle's doing great. They could have kept him and worked him into the lineup, frankly. Luke Hughes, they've had a good year overall. Luke Hughes is named the captain in the USA. The World Juniors are the most exciting part of the year. It's a week away, Boxing Day. That's a great question. Where can you watch the World Juniors? A lot of the games are typically on the NHL network. So you have to have the NHL network, which means you have to have a cable subscription. It's really annoying. Or if you're Canadian, you have no problem because it's the news, weather, sports, it's hockey, and the World Juniors will be on TSN. Can I get TSN here, please? My sister doesn't even live in Canada anymore. She's in Doha, but maybe they have a subscription. I can't wait to see Lane Houston for USA. USA should be good, but Canada's absolutely stacked. They went for an older player. He stared him down. Shane's got a mean death stare. He's not. Please. I don't have cable, and nobody has cable. That's what's wacky. So you got to get NHL Network on Hulu or one of the streaming services that actually has it. Yeah, well, I'm not sure. We should check. So I will check and see where are they going to broadcast this. Are they going to broadcast it on ESPN? That would be amazing. Even if it's ESPN 2 or 3 or 6. How many ESPNs are there? All games we broadcast on the NHL Network in the US and TSN in Canada. Darn it. So that's not going to happen. So I will be on NHL Network. I believe on Hulu I have it. So that's just the reality. But what do you think of this? I'm on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Take off Tuesday and Thursdays. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are live here doing Detroit Red Wings review. That usually lets us catch up on the games and preview the upcoming games. You think so? Can you subscribe to TSN outside of Canada? NHL Hockey News reports, are you in Canada? That's the question. Because if you are in Canada, I believe you can subscribe to tsn.ca. Well, listen, if you're USA, you would think Luke Hughes is a logical choice. Shane Wright, I'm surprised given everything, but maybe. We'll see how this works out. He should be one of their top players. You're in the US, so I don't know. I don't know if we can get TSN here in your tap. So this is going to be interesting. We will start looking at more of the World Junior previews, actually. So maybe that's a good idea. We'll do some video on that. In the meantime, we have the game tonight, Washington Capitals, Detroit Red Wings, Alex Ovechkin. What do you think if he breaks the record, Gordie Howe's record, versus the Detroit Red Wings? Yeah, you can watch lots of Rangers. Rangers are on a tear, boys. What the heck? Rangers are kicking butt all of a sudden. If you look, the Metropolitan is ridiculous. 7 wins in a row for the Rangers. So they were kind of like, middling. They weren't doing amazing. Now they're on a ridiculous tear. Is this a pattern for Gerard Gallant? I seem to feel like his teams go on long streaks. It's like they dial it in. They're 8-1-1 their last 10, but don't look now. 5 wins for Carolina. Carolina's been crushing teams too, whether it's close games or otherwise. 9-0-1 in their last 10, and New Jersey is falling back to the earth. Pittsburgh, they had a loss. However, 7-2-1 their last 10. They've been playing very good. Washington 7-2-1. What the heck? So it's 8 points separates first from sixth in the Metropolitan. So if we look at the wild card, it's all Metropolitan. There ain't going to be no Atlantic. Detroit's falling back into place. Even Buffalo ain't going to make it. I just don't see this. 5 wins for Tampa. 7 wins for the Rangers. 5 wins for Carolina. It's insane. 24-4-2. That's insane for Boston. 30 games into the season. That's incredible. Only 4 regulation losses. 5 wins for Minnesota lately. Like, the streaks are crazy, guys. 3 wins for St. Louis. It's just been nuts. So it's like, in order to be in the playoffs, you have to be winning every night pretty much. It's kind of crazy. Teams have been, I guess this is streaky, or they're just getting things dialed in. 5 teams are coming out of the Metro. I absolutely agree with you. That just seems logical. The Canes don't have Pacioretty. Will this help? Sure. Very well coached. They've been getting great goaltending, great defense, and they have lots of offense. Martin Necas scored that goal in overtime the other. Did he score it, or I think he finished it? He's such a good player. He might be their best player now. And you got Sebastian Aho on that team. Ovi isn't that different from Gordie Howe. Jeez. What? Neither was ever scared to play the defense side of the game. Tough as Alex Ovechkin is horrific defensively. He skates around with his stick in the air. He floats. He throws checks. And he's a monster of a human being. And he sets up around the dot and he can score from there. But he is horrible defensively. But he's a big man. And he's tough. The Sabres are exciting to watch. They are. That is a J.J. Peterka, Quinn, Dylan Cousins. You go down the list, and that team is looking good. Necas is from Svechnikov. That's what it was. Okay, yeah. And I thought that was the overtime 6-5 win. Ovi's the greatest goal scorer of all time, sadly. I've seen this guy live 4 times. All 4 times, I was just like, ugh. No thanks. He does crush people. He's not afraid. He's a big man. Steroids help. This thing is, he's always healthy. I wonder why. He's a monster. He's just a big, big person. He's like 245 pounds. Would you believe only has 292 career assists? Yes, I believe that. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. He is a one-dimensional player. I don't remember that. I do remember that. But it was, yeah. I mean, Jágr was quite a bit older, I think, at that point, wasn't he? Jágr's a big man. But Ovechkin's another level of big. Like, when you see him, did you see when Ovechkin signed the soccer contract and he was running in the friendly game and he just like destroyed the soccer guy? Yeah. Jágr is a big, big man. And he's not as big as Ovechkin. Ovechkin is so big. Gordie Howe would have 200 games in the NHL if he stayed. I don't know what that means. 2000. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it was in the internationals. I'd have to go back and look at that. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Well, lots of streaks going on, lots of guys scoring. That's the good thing. There's a lot of fun stories here. McDavid with 62 points. Even if I still don't think they're getting great goaltending, 62 points in 32 games is like almost 160-point pace, right? Leon Draisaitl, 54 points, but then there's Tage Thompson. Like Tage Thompson with 489 points, guys. You would have said, hey, that's a good year for Tage Thompson. Nope. Tage Thompson, he had 38 goals last year. He has 25 and 31. And when he shot the puck the other night, it was 98.9 miles per hour. I love Jágr. He played 3 games already. I don't know if you know that. He played for his team Kladno, the Kladno Knights, and he jumped in for 3 games because there was injuries. Svechnikov won't want to fight Ovi ever again. No, you saw as big as Svechnikov is, and if you see Svechnikov off the ice, you're like, wow, he is big and he's fit. He's like 6'2", 6'3", and he looks strong. So is his brother. Like, the brothers are big. Ovechkin's a monster. Go watch the summertime celebrity soccer match where he just crushed somebody. Just like, yeah. Kucherov, 47 points. Jason Robertson, you see, got a few points the other night because he was at 43. Pasternak's up there. Kaprizov playing amazing. He is just such a great player. Erik Karlsson not really missing a beat here. And Crosby, don't discount Crosby and Panarin. So there's lots of really exciting offensive stories here. And 39 points in 29 games for Matthew Tkachuk. And you can't even get any respect this year, Mikko Rantanen. 38 points plus 5 in 29 games. This is great. 1.3 points per game, and he is 12th in NHL scoring. And you got your friend here only on a 40-goal pace, Austin Matthews. Mr. Streak, 37 points in 32 games. Mitch Marner, 15th in the NHL in scoring. And you got guys like Jack Hughes, who's played great. Stamkos has played great. Like, scoring has got to be up this year. Am I missing something? The points are definitely up. I mean, these rates per game, when have you seen 1.94 points per game? Almost 2 points per game. Come on. Skinner is actually having a good year. Didn't look good the other night, though, did he? They lost that game 4-3, and I think he was terrible in the beginning. Ovi KO'd him. We'll have to look that up. All right, guys, we are 11 minutes before the hour, and I'm probably going to start wrapping this up. There was the only other story. I think the big thing is the World Juniors. So I think what we want to do is we want to preview the teams. So I'll start preparing that with coach, or I'll do it on my own. Ovechkin will get to 800 goals, I'm predicting tonight against the Detroit Red Wings. The Calgary Flames, I don't know if you know, were on a 5-game losing streak, and they finally won a game. So that was kind of against the lowly San Jose Sharks. They took advantage of that. Calgary ain't making the playoffs, are they? I can't see this. I think we talked about this. Seattle got back in the win column against Winnipeg. That was a good game. Rangers just spanked, the lowly Chicago team. And Pittsburgh finally lost a game against the red-hot Carolina Hurricanes. And Minnesota showed, Ottawa was on a 4-game winning streak. That ended because they got 5-game winning streak in Minnesota. So that was crazy. And look again, Claude Giroux. We're not even talking about this guy. Derek Brassard was 64% in the faceoff circle, 69% for Claude Giroux, 67%. I want 67% for Brady Tkachuk. If you are a Montreal Canadiens fan, every single day you must be cursing Marc Bergevin for taking Jesperi Kotkaniemi over Brady Tkachuk because you were like, you needed a center. And this was my point to coach the whole time. I was like arguing. I'm like, Brady can play center. Well, he's always played wing. Brady can play center. I knew Brady could play center. Brady is very capable of playing center. 67% in the faceoff circle. Who in the NHL is 67%? Well, Claude Giroux does 69%. Ottawa winning on some of these fundamentals. It's kind of crazy. I am not an Ovi fan. I am sorry. I mean, Ovi has proven way more durable than Lindros for sure. So that is true. But if you look at Ottawa, in the faceoff circle. Now they lose this game, but that is incredible. I mean, there's no real number one centerman in Minnesota, so maybe that's part of it. Oof, crazy. All right. Well, it's an exciting season overall. You've got to be really happy with the progress of young players. You got to be happy with the progress of teams. There's going to be new teams in the playoffs this year, I think. So that'll be positive. And, you know, you just got to say, hey, there's been some milestones hit with Ovechkin. Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews going to play 1,000 games together. That's pretty good. For sure. Lindros was a monster. But his stick was too short, and his head was down. I think that's why his head was down. And he skated like the stand-up style, which if you look at McDavid, he kind of has that powerful, short crossover stand-up style. But his head wasn't down. His head's out, right? And he's placing pucks ahead. He's always moving forward. I don't know. We'd have to look at that because I don't think Jack Campbell's really worked out there. And Stuart Skinner, like, I mean, you know, he's a young goalie still. So he's going to be a little inconsistent sometimes. And it's a tough league or team to play in front of, I think. I don't think that they have the perfect defense. So 9-8-0 is not terrible. 19 games. So he's definitely played the bulk of the games. Let's see what our friend Jack Campbell is. I always maintained, I was like, why are you giving this guy all that money? 8-6-0. He hasn't played since December. All right, so he just played December 13th. And he didn't have a bad game. You know, that's not bad. You got to win. His save percentage is not amazing. 404 goals against average is rough. 875. So that's not good news. I remember when he was drafted. He was drafted in Los Angeles. That draft was in LA. Oof. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, this is a tough team to play defense for. You know, like they're a go offense. They have this style where they're just pushing the pace, and there's transition against. That's a big part of the problem. Evan Bouchard is really struggling. Right? They don't have like this structured stay on the right side of the puck style of Tampa Bay. You know, they're letting McDavid go, and he's getting his points. But defensively, that leaves you in a tough situation. Not every year. I don't think – is it Montreal last year? I didn't go to Montreal. I think I'll go this year because it's in Nashville. If you put Puljujärvi and D and bury them forward, they're so bad. Yeah. Well, you know, like this team was built around McDavid and Draisaitl, and, you know, Nugent Hopkins dovetails into that fine. Hyman is always going to be effective. But it's tough. If you're a defenseman on the Edmonton Oilers, there's a lot of transition and breakdowns against you. You've got Darnell Nurse. Any team would want Darnell Nurse. Evan Bouchard looked terrific in the playoffs, but he really struggled the other night. It was bad. You know, a couple turnovers that led to goals. He's just struggling. He's not a real swift skater, so if you don't want him overhandling the puck. He can shoot the puck, and he can be good defensively. But right now, they just don't have a structure that support that. Tyson Barrie, terrible defensively. We know that. So that's not good for them. I like Stu Kulak. I thought that was a good pickup. So personnel-wise, do you dislike this? I don't like Cody Ceci. And I'm definitely, did I say Stu Kulak? Stu Kulak. What is the relationship between Brett and Stu Kulak? That's what I want to know. Are they related? Cody Ceci, he's a +7. Evan Bouchard is a -14, and that is a big problem for them. Broberg, he's not playing every day right now. He's only played 11 games. He's a -3, another young defenseman. So I think those two guys are the future. Ryan Murray has not been good for them. So you got guys taking up some space there. Darnell Nurse, 17 points, 32 games, +10. Not bad. 25 points in 32 games for Tyson Barrie. How can anyone look at Tyson Barrie's a +6? What? So it defies some logic here. Yeah, but Tyson Barrie has 25 points in 32 games. People look at Quinn Hughes, who has no goals. I think he has first goal in the year. I think he finally scored. So he's got 1 goal and like 26 assists, right? No idea. Kulak is a cool 6 guy to have. I like Kulak as a 5-6, yeah. Brett and Stu Hart are from Alberta. That is true, but they were wrestlers. Ken Holland, what's defense? I don't know. They got personnel there that I don't mind. But I think just the style is just tough. It's not an easy style. All right, guys, we are 2 minutes before the hour. I want to thank you for joining. Please hit the like and subscribe if you have not already. We will see you on Wednesday morning. I will be back. We can recap tonight's game against the Washington Capitals and look forward to the future Detroit Red Wings games, and we will start previewing the World Junior Hockey Championships, which is the most exciting time of the year. Thank you so much. Will Klefbom ever play again? No, he is done. His career is over. He's finished, unfortunately, because he would have been great. That would have been a great number 2 defenseman. That would have solved a lot of problems, Eater Tap. He is, unfortunately, injuries are finished. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a great evening. Hope you enjoy the games tonight, including the Montreal versus Arizona game. And we look forward to talking to you on Wednesday morning.